Hello, welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I am an ageless, enigmatic figure that travels the countryside and does not cast a reflection. Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another week of Bloodhaus. This one was a hard one to do a weird little intro for.
Yeah, it's a weird movie and a weird week, too. It's Happy New Year.
Yeah. Welcome to the limbo week of New Year.
2025 is here and it's off to a bang. With a bang, Cybertrucks are exploding.
Yeah.
It's already off and running. How's it going?
I'm good. I am glad to be acclimating back into my work-life balance from the holiday limbo. Getting my foot back into work a little bit, but I'm still spending a lot of time doing puzzles and going to the gym. So it's
great.
It's a good balance, honestly. I know next week is probably going to kick my ass, but
yeah,
I'm appreciating this fairy tale world where most of my days can be spent thrifting and doing puzzles and watching movies and hanging out with my partner, and then 2 days a week I have to do some work.
Yeah.
That's
I haven't done
the
any
dream.
Work in weeks. We traveled for the holidays and then it was New Year's, and now my boyfriend's parents are here, who are totally lovely people, but I haven't been alone in weeks and weeks and weeks. And I'm somebody who usually spends hours and hours a day alone. And so I catch myself looking up cabins on Airbnb. You know what I mean? I just really want to be alone, as lovely as they are. And as much as I love my boyfriend, I'm like, oh my God, please put me in the woods for a week.
Sounds like you need a vacation from this vacation.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
I can't believe you're beset with Carmelites right now.
Beset. Absolutely beset. And they're lovely, but yeah.
Is this
they actually are staying longer because no, this is the first time in this apartment. They visited us when we lived in Echo Park. They're staying longer because there's a giant snowstorm in Carmel, Indiana now, and so they're afraid to fly back.
Fair.
Yeah.
They're
lovely.
Them.
Yeah. Have you watched anything cool?
I have. Listeners may remember that in 2024 I found myself very enthralled with and excited by a new filmmaker, and by new I mean new to me, who's been around since the 70s and 80s, that I was very excited to start getting into, and I have continued that journey. So if we have not been doing the Bergman report lately, maybe we can be doing the Greenaway Telegraph as we give an update on my journey through the films of Peter Greenaway. News on the march. At a little around New Year's, Ivory and I wanted to watch a cozy movie together. She really wanted to watch a period movie. She really wanted to watch Barry Lyndon because she hasn't seen Barry Lyndon.
Great movie.
And really wants to see it. But that movie is nearly 4 hours. And we did not have that kind of time. It was we want something quick after dinner to watch. So instead, we pulled out Peter Greenaway's The Draughtsman's Contract. Which is also a period set movie. A lot of dandy foppish wigs, and white face paint and drawn on moles and that kind of vibe, and a lot of dry wit and everyone fucking each other. I really loved it. It's not my favorite of the stuff I've seen. It might be my least favorite of the things I've seen from Greenaway so far, but that's still high fucking praise because they're all amazing.
Sure, yeah.
But it's about an artist who, a draftsman, who simply just does landscape illustrations. And he's very revered, and he will design houses and stuff like that. And wealthy landowner's wife and daughter separately do everything they can to convince him to come to their estate while the husband and father is away, so that he can do multiple illustrations of the house as a present for his birthday. and then we'll
Okay.
present them to him. And he takes it up on the agreement that he will have access to the wife of the house at his pleasure. Just basically like, I'll do it as long as you fuck me whenever I want.
Okay.
And he starts an uproar in the like small court around the house, and it's very Peter Greenaway style. Things are very locked down, very repetitive. It's got an incredible score by his go-to composer, and things slowly start changing and revealing themselves in the very like repetitive cyclical nature, because it's like at 10 a.m. he sits up at this side of the house and illustrates, and at noon he moves to this side of the house and illustrates, and sort of starts to build this rhythm. And then things start, you keep looking at the same shots of the house as he's having conversations with people, and as he keeps coming back to them, little things like change or are added, and we start to notice that the father, who is out of town, may not have reached his destination, and pieces of his wardrobe start landing around the house, and it kind of like turns into a quiet murder mystery, like
That
in the way
sounds
that like
good.
Robert Altman's one of his last movies,
Gosford Park?
Gosford Park is a murder mystery, yeah, in the way that like it's happening and it's there, but no one's really that focused on it,
Yeah.
and the movie's not really that focused on it, and it kind of ends up becoming like one of those old Warner Brothers like noir movies, but done in the like style and aesthetic of like an Adamant music video.
I love it.
It's really good. I liked
great.
it a lot. It's really mean. There's
Perfect.
there's a running I don't know, gag or mystery kind of, in which there's a figure that seems to be like following people that live there at the house, or seems to be like creeping on the house, that's just a nude man who seems to just like occasionally appear in a scene and then disguise himself to fit in like with a bush or with a statue. And
That's so weird.
You'll just be watching a scene, and then out of the corner of your eye you're like, that's a naked man that's just standing over there. That's really crazy. Unsettling. It's a really like darkly funny, really kind of like, I don't know, it feels like you took In a Lonely Place and then transposed it to the Regency era. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I have not been disappointed by Greenaway yet, so I'm excited to do A Zed and Two Knots, and eventually for this show, The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover.
Yeah, I would love to cover that one.
Mm-hmm.
I have two little recommendations, and one of them, if you'll indulge me, is a book.
Ooh.
So I can
indulge a book.
I think our listeners who read will really like this book. That's the reason.
Our listeners who read is such a funny sentence.
Why? Some people don't read, and that's fine. No judgment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is a movie podcast. I agree.
I just find it very, I don't know.
Did I seem snobby?
No, you didn't seem snobby. It just sounds like some kind of like contemporary demarcation of something that we already have a word for. The like, I don't know, like literate Americans society.
Listen, most Americans are not literate. That's a fact.
This is unfortunately very true.
And no judgment if you're one of them. I only mean to say, this is a book that I loved. I listened to it on audio driving around Washington State in the gray and rain, which was perfect. It's a new book called Penance by a young British writer named Eliza Clark. And it is a novel of a true crime book. So the author, Eliza Clark, is kind of like questioning the ethics of true crime and our appetite for it. And so here's what it is. Like 90% of the book is the text of a true crime novel or true crime book written in the voice of a middle-aged man who is like a journalist who is very controversial and has been canceled multiple times. And so the story of this true crime book, quote unquote true crime book, is of 3 teenage girls in working class northern England in a coastal town who set another girl on fire on the beach one night and kill her.
Oh my God.
And it's written in the style of a true crime book. You get podcast transcriptions, interviews, all of that sort of thing. And then within that, 3 of the girls that did this murder are also obsessed with a true crime story from Montana of a school shooting and are kind of like stands of these 2 school shooters. So you get a bunch of true crime stuff of that story within the text. But then there's also a wraparound. There's a foreword by a young, like 20-something female journalist about how this book was taken out of print because a lot of it was exaggerated or not true. But, you know, the publishers believe in making things available to the public. So they just added this foreword about how some of the things in the book that you're about to read aren't true. And then after the bulk of the book, there's an interview with that journalist and the middle-aged man author about why he changed certain things. So it's like, it's this like meta-textual novel. It's entirely fiction about true crime and our appetites for true crime and asking like how ethical it is to indulge.
That's awesome.
Super dark. It would make a killer movie or like BBC miniseries. Brilliantly written by this like not even 30-year-old author named Eliza Clark. And I just am obsessed with it. And now I want to read everything that she writes.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, you would like it a lot. And the audio is really great. Those northern, I don't know why Londoners don't like northern accents because they are so
the Geordie accent?
Yeah, they're so charming and adorable, and I absolutely love them.
I will say I've been watching a lot of Taskmaster.
I love Taskmaster.
One of the best shows of all time. And we just watched the season of it with Chris Ramsey, who is a British comedian who is very fit. And he is from the north, so he has a thick Geordie accent. And there's an episode of it where he has to say "no way" a bunch of times in repetition, and it's just "no way." And so we've been doing that around the house for like a month.
There's a new Philomena Cunk series on Netflix this week too. Who has a northern accent?
You love Cunk on Earth.
I do. I love my Cunk. But then the movie that I wanted to recommend, I watched just this morning at 5:30 when I couldn't sleep. It's on the Criterion channel, and it is a Czechoslovakian movie from the 80s made by the director of Daisies.
Sold.
It's crazy. It's her take on an 80s teen slasher. So 10 random teenagers are invited on a ski trip to do some sort of quote unquote course with perfect strangers. And basically it's like a survival challenge up in the mountains, and they're in this ski lodge. It's like a ski vacation / outward bound kind of situation. And so it has a little bit of a quality of like Battle Royale or something, where there's like progressively less food and less resources for the 10 kids, and they're kind of being pitted against each other, and they have secrets that are turned on them. And I won't spoil it, but it's really crazy. It is a teen slasher that has like absolutely no deaths and no gore. There's a science fiction element. The editing is insane. The score is crazy. It ends up being like an allegory for authoritarianism.
Cool. Yeah.
Which the Czech Republic, I don't know if it's Czechoslovakia in the 80s or the Czech Republic yet, but they had an authoritarian government then. And the only reason she was allowed to make this movie is that because she was so internationally high profile that they kind of couldn't stop her. So it's pretty punk rock that she made this like outward blatant critique of her government in the form of a teen slasher movie in the 80s. So that's called Wolf's Hole, and it's on Criterion channel right now, and it's nuts. It doesn't make any sense, really, much like Daisies. Like the turns in people's emotions or just the decisions that they make absolutely no sense, and people go from 0 to 100 in 1 second and things like that. But I was really intrigued by it. I'm not sure if it's like quote unquote good, but it was fascinating and kept my attention, and I don't even know what star rating I would give it, but it's totally worth watching. It's super weird. It's got some really cool aesthetics, great music. And yeah, really loved it. Wolf's Hole.
I'm very excited to see more from Vera Chidalova. She's like, I picked up a few other of her films for Ivory for Christmas. She loves Daisy so much.
I love
but
Daisies
she's never
too.
seen anything else by her. So I'm really excited to maybe this year we can delve more into this. I know I got Ivory's Traps, a movie that she made in 1998. And I also know we have Pearls of the Deep, and I think a few of her other ones are streaming on Criterion. Yeah, I know Calamity is available. So maybe it's the year that we dive into Vera Chilova.
We could totally do Wolf's Hole. It is a horror movie. I really like Daisies too. To me, that's a movie that's very annoying, and it's kind of annoying on purpose.
Very much annoying on purpose, yes.
And this is similar. Like, the characters are always screaming. Everyone's talking over each other. Very busy, very maximalist. So it won't be for all tastes, but I thought it was super interesting and worth watching. It kept me up at 5:30 in the morning. So
hell yeah.
You know.
What else are movies supposed to do?
Exactly. Well, speaking of annoying movies, no, not at all. This is a divisive, I would say, cult classic that I had never seen before, and was very excited to finally get around to watching. It's just been restored and released by the good people at Vinegar Syndrome, but I did not watch that version because my Blu-ray hasn't arrived yet. It is available to stream, but it's not the restored version. But it looks fine. It's a beautiful movie. From 1983, directed by the legendary Michael Mann, it is The Keep.
There's 108 crosses made of nickel embedded in the walls of the keep.
Where's the owner?
I have no idea.
Who is he?
I don't know.
And what drives people out in the middle of a rainy night?
Dream.
Something has been released.
What do you mean,
Something. There is something here. A power.
What's happened in this place?
What's happened is that what was repressed within the keep is spreading into the village.
So, had you seen this movie before? You had, right?
Yeah, I'd seen this movie like 2 times before. So for people in like deep cinephile circles, The Keep is like up there with Ken Russell's The Devils and a few other movies that were kind of on like, oh, it's like, I don't know, this perspective of it's entirely impossible to get a hold of. It was released theatrically. Maybe it had a single home video release in the 80s on either VHS, Laserdisc, or both.
I remember the cover from video stores. I'm almost certain I do.
Yeah, it's the cover of the tape and the cover of the original poster are the same. It's like the title of The Keep is a big like castle, and there's some like soldiers backlit running into it. It's very blue and purple Michael Mann colors. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, especially when you're like getting into cult films and stuff like that, the list of like, what are the best films that are impossible to see? You want to see it because you're told you can't. Liquid Sky was that way for a long time until Vinegar Syndrome restored it and put it back out. The Devils is still that way to a degree, which is super fucking shitty. And you know, The Keep is kind of a weird one because it was a big budget Paramount movie. It got a board game. Like,
oh my god!
Bloodhaus movie to like have a tie-in board game. I don't know. Nosferatu might get a chance. Maybe. And it, I mean, Michael Mann's a huge director. It was his second movie. It's got a huge Tangerine Dream soundtrack. It didn't seem like the kind of movie that would disappear. And when it did, there was a lot of speculation as to whether or not that's because of the studio interference that went into the production of the movie, or if Michael Mann has just disowned it, or one thing or another.
Or all of that.
And finally, Vinegar Syndrome has restored it and popped it back out. still in that theatrical 96-minute cut that was released in 1983.
3.
But the version that I have been able to see in the past has all been VHS rips. Not even watching the VHS, a copy of the VHS that is either
on Amazon Prime or whatever.
On Amazon Prime or like uploaded to YouTube or something like that. But the first time I ever watched it, it was streaming on Amazon Prime, and it was straight up either a VHS or a Laserdisc rip that I guess Paramount provided to Amazon. I don't know. And this movie, like a handful of Michael Mann movies, especially at this era, like Thief, it's mostly shot at night.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie especially is a lot of deep inky blackness inside a not lit at all castle keep in the Romanian outskirts, and a lot of it plays with light and shadow, and that was entirely lost on me the first 2 times I saw this movie. I got narrative alone, which is not the thing this movie is good at. And so I was always kind of like, yeah, you know, it's kind of like Halloween 3 in that it's not as bad as people said at the time, but I don't think it's an unsung masterpiece, whatever. And so when Vinegar Syndrome announced that they were bringing it back out, I was initially super excited that it was simply just getting a release. But I was like, I don't need it. Like, I've seen it. It's fine. I don't need to own it. And then a day went by and I was like, no, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. And so I went ahead and bought their like deluxe edition. And then like an hour later, it sold out. So I was very glad that I did that. And after having watched it this morning, yeah, it's fucking gorgeous, and the restoration is a totally new movie. It doesn't have all those missing scenes that played on TV or that were in the trailer or the like additional half hour that Michael Mann had to cut out of the movie, and it's still messy. It still doesn't have a second act. But I do think it gets better with watches, and I do think the restoration is a major improvement.
So I watched it on Amazon Prime. It did say it was recently uploaded. I don't know if it is the restored version by Vinegar Syndrome. I thought it looked good. It was definitely not a VHS pan and scan. So it is, you know, if you can't get the Blu-ray, listener, it's totally fine to watch it on Prime. Here's the timeline.
Was it in widescreen?
It was.
Okay.
It was, I think. Here's the timeline of this movie. So the director's cut was 210 minutes, which was 3.5 hours.
That's the work print cut. Yeah.
Sure. They insisted he get it down to 120 minutes. No. It is not normal to have a 3.5 hour cut of a movie.
It wasn't ever. That was just the first rough cut of the movie. It wasn't intended to be a theatrical distribution cut. It was just an assembly cut. Was 2.5 hours. Was 3.5 hours.
Okay, well, that's the cut that fans of this movie are asking for.
Yes, and they're psychotic. Michael Mann has gone on record and said, no, my director's cut is 2 hours.
So then Paramount insisted he get it down to 120 minutes, which he did. Then they did some test screenings that went badly and cut it down to 96 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's the version that's always been available. With, as Drusilla pointed out, sometimes you can see extra footage in trailers or in TV versions, but that was kind of a normal thing for a long time. I've seen like extra scenes of movies like The Breakfast Club or Halloween just by watching them on television as a little kid.
I remember the TV version of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective had like additional scenes in it. I remember as a kid being really weirded out by that because I was like, I have this movie on VHS, I have this movie on DVD. These scenes are not in here. What? Yeah,
when I was a little boy, I was obsessed with The Breakfast Club, and I recorded it off TV. And first of all, they cut all the swearing, but replaced it with dubbed version. So like, flip you, eat my shorts, and stuff like that.
Eat my socks. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I will also quickly note that Carmel, Indiana, the high school I went to, Carmel High School, mandatory showed everyone The Breakfast Club in a health class, health and wellness, whatever, sex ed class. But they only had a VHS that was copied off of TV. So it still had commercials and it was entirely edited for TV.
That sounds like heaven to me now. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to watch that now. I also remember I brought it up because I also had scenes that are not in the theatrical version, and they were two extra scenes with the janitor character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can see why these didn't make the final cut. It's just like character development for the janitor at the high school. Yeah, so that's the trajectory of The Keep. It is based on a novel. I'd be interested in reading that to see if it makes any more sense. It received mixed reviews from critics, many of whom praised its visual sensibilities, but some of whom knocked it for, frankly, not making a lot of sense. And it did not perform well at the box office, but has since become a cult classic. And of course, Michael Mann has gone on to become a very well-respected, loved director.
Yeah, he's Michael Mann. Literally, after this movie bombed as hard as it did, he was like, okay, movies aren't for me. I'm going to go back to TV. And he created something called Miami Vice.
Miami Vice, baby.
Miami Vice, baby! Which the success of which brought Manhunter, which we covered previously on the show. And his whole fucking career. You wouldn't have Heat if it wasn't for Miami Vice.
And Miami Vice is like a cultural touchstone. I mean, it created the yuppie aesthetic of the 1980s. It's not just like a popular TV show. It was like a cultural, touchstone. It's just like hugely important to the culture of the 1980s.
And we'll get into this in a second, but I'm really interested in, this is very much an era of like white men making movies, but like filmmakers who bomb and then reset their careers and the films that make them do that. For like Steven Soderbergh with The Underneath, he made in the mid-90s, which no one fucking remembers that movie. And then he went back to New Orleans, made some experimental films, and then all of a sudden came back with Out of Sight. And it's like, oh yeah, that's Steven Soderbergh. There we go.
Wes Craven to some extent too reinvented himself a couple of times. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street in the 80s kind of reset who he was, and then Scream again in the 90s.
Yeah, and I mean, George Romero, a lot of people, one big failure really teaches you a lot of things. And it's a shame because you look at the Michael Mann that made The Keep, and he's very much focused on the history of cinema, and he's focused on use like cinematic tools as like a very stylistic, surrealistic approach to storytelling. And he's really pushing at some interesting ideas formally with Thief and with this. And when it didn't work, which also Thief wasn't a big commercial hit either, he kind of scrapped it and was like, all right, commercialism first, and then the stylistic artistic stuff second. And that's how we then get Manhunter, which is a straight down the line Hannibal Lecter serial killer movie that then is accented and accentuated by all those moments. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of that element of his filmmaking has left over time. By the point that you get to The Insider, it's just it's not there, which is a shame because the filmmaking of The Keep is extraordinary.
Yeah, in a lot of ways it is. I mean, it looks beautiful. The score is beautiful. The acting is amazing. It's got a really great cast, of course. The experience of it was really frustrating for me but also the frustration kind of makes it interesting too. I don't know. It's just a really interesting film. Because so much of it was cut, you can feel that there are just gobs of scenes that are missing. So you can feel, you watch one scene and then the next scene and you can feel there were 5 scenes between these 2 scenes. And it's a way kind of fun to fill in those gaps for yourself. But it's also a little frustrating.
It's very frustrating. There's a moment in this movie where someone is like, go get that man. He's in a concentration camp. And then we cut to that man in a concentration camp. And he's like, I'll never get out of here. And then they cut to he's in the keep with it. It's whoa. One cut later, he's right there in the keep with them. And you're like, okay,
There's
So
also
he got
like,
here then.
there's also a scene, where we watch two characters die. They're like the first victims inside the keep. And then the next morning, the Nazi goes to report to his boss, we lost 5 men last night. It's like, oh, I bet we saw that other death and we just like those other deaths and we just cut them. So what is this movie about? Hard to say, but in loose terms, it's 1941. We are in Romania. We're following a team of Nazis as they investigate the titular keep. The keep is very weird and big. It's been in this village longer than anyone can remember. No one knows its origins. Seems like it might be from outer space or another dimension. It's got weird crosses in the walls and stuff like that. Has a weird caretaker played by Uncle Vinny from Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and his
Yeah,
two
he
sons.
is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's great. And the Nazis quickly start dying, so they enlist the help of a doctor who is Jewish, which is very controversial. They pull him out of a concentration camp with his adult daughter. This is Ian McKellen's character, and he starts trying to figure out what the deal is with the keep. There's a monster. There's also kind of like a sentinel guy who travels from Greece to come do something. And there's a relic, and I don't know what that is. And that's all I can say about it. I truly don't understand the story at all. I would be really interested to read the novel because I assume it makes some kind of sense in a way that this doesn't. I also don't mind that movies don't make sense. I mean, I kind of don't mind. Like I said, I think it's interesting. It's frustrating and interesting. It's like a little like this movie I'm about to name is like 1,000 times better than this movie, but it's a little like Picnic at Hanging Rock. It's a movie where like you don't get any answers at any point and you continue to watch the movie weeks after you've sat down and watched it because it's like going through your head. Like I think that this is going to be going through my head quite a while.
It really does. And that's kind of what I was saying about it getting better with repeat viewings, is the more it kind of sinks in and the more you think about it, the more it kind of works. And I think that's, an unintended benefit of the kind of elliptical editing that is imposed upon this movie. But I do think it partially is intentional by Mann, because I was reading an interview with him conducted by the film critic Bill Jabiri, in which Michael Mann was talking about how after making Thief was like his big goal. He'd been working on TV for years, and he finally just wanted to fucking direct a movie. And he had a lean, mean, like heist movie planned, and that was Thief. And he finally made it, and it like lived up to his expectations, if not financially. And so then it was like, well, what next? And he then had to think about shit. Okay, a second movie. And what he wanted to do was explore the evils of fascism through Freudian dream analysis in the mode of a fairy tale. And he wanted to make a fairy tale for adults, and he wanted to deal with large political themes. And he came across the book The Keep by F. Paul Wilson and said, this'll do. This has the like framework that I can hang that on. However, he also, at the time of production, in a magazine interview, blatantly was like, but it's not a good book.
Yeah,
he thought it
happens all the time in Hollywood.
Yeah, he thought it was too much of a like gothic potboiler, too much of like something Hammer would have made in the 60s.
See, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. And so he was like, meh. So he threw like the book is apparently a lot more focused on characterization and
you
the
don't
lore.
Say.
And so he threw that out. Instead focusing on creating a dream atmosphere that this movie could take place in, and to kind of set you inside the action without the internal thoughts of the characters and let you kind of like go along with it, which is an interesting idea.
Yeah, but I would ask, why not both? Why not have deep
both? Characters
in a story and a beautiful atmosphere and visual language? I actually don't mind if a movie doesn't have a story. I've said that many times. I just
This
find
is a
the
movie where
setup
style
of this
is
movie
substance.
totally is. It is. But I found the setup of the movie so fascinating and delicious. Like, oh, here's this keep that's been in this village longer than anyone can remember, and no one knows where it came from. Could have come from outer space or another dimension. Like,
And
that
then you
to
slap
me,
Nazi troops in there to like, that's where they're going to set up camp, and they immediately start pillaging it. Yeah.
all of that shit is so cool to me that I actually really wished for a story. And in fact, I thought like, ooh, this would make such a good TV show. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure the novel still exists, and I'm sure Paramount still holds the rights. A Paramount Plus original series, The Keep.
It's on its way here as we speak.
I honestly would be interested in watching that or seeing that get made. But for me, all like you're saying, the setup totally fucking works. The first 20 minutes or so of this movie, I think, are spellbinding and super hypnotic.
Agree.
And I think for the most part are following Man's trajectory pretty close. And it's really easy with a movie like this, and with any movie that has, an outspoken director and any studio conflict behind it, whether it be Magnificent Ambersons or Brazil or anything where like it was taken away by the studio. It's very easy to say, oh, it's a bad movie, but that's the studio's fault. It's not in no way, shape, or form the director's fault, and it's all the studio's fault. Which is very easy to say, and may
it's
well
often
be
true.
It's often true. It's frequently true. Brazil's a great example of that, since we have both cuts of the movie now. I don't know if it's entirely true with The Keep. It is almost certainly definitely true, but there are also aspects of this movie which are entirely Michael Mann's doing, that, and also the author of the book's doing, that I don't know if they work or if they should work better. And that's when I get to Scott Glenn's character. What are you doing here, Scott Glenn? As soon the movie is amazing and fascinating and hypnotic, and like the first couple Nazi soldiers like try to pillage the Silver Crosses, and of course, and then immediately awaken an evil like spirit that lies within the keep, and then fucking eviscerates them in a really dope way.
Cool
and
way.
Then, and it's like one of the most exciting parts of the movie, and then it hard cuts to Scott Glenn wakes up in bed and his eyes glow.
In Greece.
And then he like, symbolically walks out of Greece and like charters a boat, and you're like, what are we doing?
At no point in this movie did I understand who he was,
what he's doing,
what he wanted, I didn't understand a single thing about him.
He gets a romantic arc at one point.
I know, he has tantric sex with the Jewess from the concentration camp.
Yep.
That scene made me howl with laughter. It was just, the style of it was very USA in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like breezy. There wasn't this, but it felt like jazz music, breezy curtains in the background.
Well, it's very
Skinamax.
It's very Michael Mann. It's very that language that he created, where like it's a big, gorgeous, like red, like orange red sunset, and they're backlit against it, so they're just silhouettes fucking in nature, and you're like, okay.
I'll say this though, glad to have it. You know what I mean?
Glad to have it. Makes no sense. I don't know what it's doing here. Glad to have it.
Yeah. I want to talk about Ian McKellen's presence in this movie, which he has gone on record saying it was the worst filming experience of his life.
Ian McKellen's first American film. He's super young, but you wouldn't know it from looking at him.
Could have been his last American film based on how it went. So they shot this. It is an American production. They shot it in Wales. The exteriors were shot at a rock quarry in Wales. The interiors are a soundstage. Very cold, very miserable. He had to put on old man makeup every day, which took hours. They did it 12 days in a row and then didn't need him, turns out. So he just like had to go through hours of this in the cold for no reason. He was told that he was playing a Romanian, and so he went to Bucharest before production and learned how to do a Romanian accent. And then literally minutes before filming, Michael Mann was like, drop the accent. Maybe you could do it more like Chicago for some reason. And so he felt like really put off by that. Blindsided. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the term. He felt very blindsided, and he felt like his performance struggles for that.
I do think he delivers one of the weaker performances in this movie. Weirdly, I think the weakest performances in this movie are from two of the biggest name actors, being him and Gabriel Byrne.
I mean, I think they're all fine given the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not my favorite Ian McKellen role, and I can understand that he was not happy to be there. I think it's funny that he said,
Scott Glenn is worse than Gabriel Byrne. I just needed to put that in.
Scott Glenn's right. I mean, the writing of that character is like, woof. The best performance is the only woman, I think. I thought she was great.
I think she's incredible, but I think the best performance is Jürgen Prochnow.
Who's
think
he?
Jürgen Prochnow is fucking incredible. He is the initial German
Nazi boss
commander that comes in
before Gabriel Byrne.
This is Jürgen Prochnow's first American film as well, and his first English movie immediately after the success of Das Boot. And he's an incredible actor that's been working in America, ever since. And his character's really fascinating because he's like a German soldier that's leading this command into the keep. But he seems to have like a deep-seated hatred and aversion to Nazism, and talks in multiple scenes about how he was a member of the anti-fascist party before the war, but has just been a career soldier his whole life. And he is like frequently stands as a protector to the Jewish father and daughter, and also gets into long political tirades with Gabriel Byrne. And I think his performance is fucking amazing.
He's great.
In any movie you drop him in, but in this especially knowing it's his first English language role ever, I think he's magnetic in this movie.
Uncle Vincent from Elvira is also really wonderful as a creepy caretaker. I'll never learn that. I could easily look it up, but I'm not going to.
Robert Frosky is also really great as the little priest in the village.
Oh, yes, he is good.
He's very, very, very good in this. And I throughout the movie, I'm like, why is that a guy from Chicago? I know that guy. That's like some actor from Chicago. Oh, it's Robert Frosky from Thief. That's why he's in this.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this guy playing a Romanian priest? What's going on? But he's really good.
The aesthetic of this movie, as we've mentioned, is very special. It was kind of cursed because their special effects supervisor passed away during the making of the movie. It's like a legendary special effects guy
who literally did the special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey, and he died in post-production. And when
so not through production. I got that wrong.
He died in post-production, but before they had completed all the effects work for the movie.
I see.
And they went to Paramount and said, "Hey, he died. We need more money for the effects for this movie, so because we're going to need to hire someone else, and there's no one of his caliber." And Paramount said, "Nope."
Yeah. Michael Mann also couldn't decide what he wanted the monster to look like, so it changes throughout the movie. At first, it's like invisible, and then it becomes like a smoke monster, which I thought was the best iteration of it. I thought that looked really cool and weird. And then it's like a man in a rubber suit, which I don't care for.
There's stages
looks like
of
Swamp
that.
Thing.
It does look like Swamp Thing. It's got big, thick neck muscles.
Yeah.
Initial versions of it, as soon as it starts to corporealize, are like all just muscles and tendons, and I think that's fucking awesome. And to shoot it in a way that's very interesting, and then it just becomes like big Rockman monster. It becomes a golem. It's a golem. It's like a Nazi golem. But the like glowing red eyes and mouth are really beautiful. However,
cool.
every time he talks, it's a rubber suit going, and you're like, well. But it's visually it's super amazing. Michael Mann had it designed by a French comic book artist. Like it looks
like a comic book character.
It's a very striking graphic. I think it's part of the reason why it kind of looks like Swamp Thing. It like has the proportions of a comic book character. The visual language of this movie, I think, is fucking incredible, and I think the way that they were able to pull off a lot of the shots in this movie is mind-blowing.
I mean, the sets are gorgeous. The rock quarry as a village is incredible. The exterior of the keep and interior of the keep are so beautiful and cool.
The like blue-gray tones of the keep with these silver crosses popping out against is so goddamn gorgeous.
Incredible.
But there's a scene in this movie that I was never able to appreciate until this restoration, because it's like all in like deep blackness, in which it's the first time that the demon is released, and the Nazis that are trying to steal the silver are like convinced that there is a treasure trove hidden within the keep, and they like break across off, and then they dig into the walls, and the walls open up, and one of them falls down a chute and then almost lands into this vast crevasse, essentially, where he's just like dangling from a little hole, and the camera pulls back and back and back and back and back until he's just a tiny speck at the top of the frame, and then it reveals the bottom as it keeps going back, and there are these like Stonehenge-esque like rock sigils standing in the middle of the floor. And it's like, other than like maybe like a miniature build, I don't know how the fuck you build that. It's so outrageous and insane. It's so
incredibly
cool.
beautiful.
Oh my god. And so much of this movie is like huge shafts of light against like deep dark blackness, and a lot of things are backlit, and you get a lot of the nice anamorphic arcing, and it's just stunning to look at.
That's why for me, it almost had like a sci-fi element, because I was like, I had convinced myself this keep is from outer space or it is from another dimension, because I kept thinking of like horror movies where the monster is revealed to be from somewhere else. So like you get a glimpse of that in Phantasm, where you learn just like in one shot that the entire building and everyone in it came from like another dimension or from outer space or something. Same with the castle in the fantasy
Rocky Horror
movie
Picture Show.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show, yes.
Yeah.
Also, the castle in Krull, which is a fantasy movie, is actually a spaceship from another world. Just like, I kept thinking of those things. I was like, this is not a keep from Earth.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the more that we learn about Scott Glenn's character, he does seem to be A, immortal, B, supernatural in existence, and C, has a history with this demon and with the keep. It seems that he like was part of the construction of the keep in some way, shape, or form, because the artifact that it lies within the bowels of it, which the demon is trying to seduce Ian McKellen into removing from there so that he can go out into the world, is something that Scott Glenn placed there, and he keeps the other half of it around with him as like a staff. Right.
It's like they're two different immortal beings who've been at war with each other across time, and
it did kind of remind me of the Tales from the Crypt movie Demon Knight in that way.
I've only seen that once, and it was in the theater when it was brand new. So
that movie
I don't really remember anything about it, really.
You should watch it. Because in that, he it's Death from Bill and Ted. I can't remember that actor's name, but he's incredible. He's a wonderful character actor. Is literally a sentinel who roams who's immortal and roams the planet with a little like artifact with the blood of Christ inside of it. Being hunted by a demon played by Billy Zane. And they've been like doing this for centuries. And it's a similar, you kind of get a similar idea with this. Scott Glenn, like he's wearing like these contacts that make his eyes look purple and just standard. And then whenever he like threatens someone, his eyes glow white. He gets all riled up, which Scott Glenn doesn't, but the script does. And then he never casts a reflection in a mirror. And then he takes all the mirrors down from the room that he's sharing with the scholar's daughter that he's staying with, and then immediately seduces and forms a relationship with, and they never talk ever.
Maybe they did in cutscenes.
Yeah, exactly. But he then is like, meets with her father and is like, no, you're being seduced by this evil and you can't take it out and all this stuff. And she's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Who are you? Where are you from? And I'm like, you guys have been fucking for like a week. What are you talking about?
To be fair, I fucked a lot of people that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, same. But like, apparently, from what I've read about this movie and the little bit that's been mentioned about it, in context with the book that it's based on, is that he has both the demon in the keep and his character kind of have elements of like Romani vampire myth baked into both of their characters. And
right,
I mean,
we are in Romania.
To an extent, this does reflect Bram Stoker's Dracula. We have a foreign envoy entering a Romanian village to head up to the castle, and everyone there, religious leaders and the like, are all saying, no, do not go there. Please do not go there. There is a cross given as a symbol of protection, and then the ancient evil that sucks literally life from human beings lives inside of the keep. And I guess that kind of makes either Scott Glenn or Ian McKellen kind of Van Helsing character. I don't know. It's got all of those gothic trappings to it, and then placing it in 1941 is a very intentional idea to then add those ideas straight into concepts of fascism. Because the demon is like subtly at first and then outright later on stated to like be the embodiment of the worst aspects of that mentality made manifest and made flesh. And it also says something that the Jewish doctor gets seduced by him and then becomes like his pawn and his puppet as much as the Nazis do, which is
Yeah, Ian McKellen is the only Jewish character. He's been rescued temporarily from a concentration camp to do this work. And the demon tells him, hey, if you let me go, I'll destroy all of your enemies. Yeah. So interesting. And he doesn't do it ultimately.
Yeah. Because he won't kill his daughter.
Yeah.
And then Scott Glenn shows up and waves a light around. I
don't know, Drew. I thought it was a fascinating movie, frustrating, beautiful, definitely worth watching. Do you have anything else to say about it?
The only thing we didn't mention is that this has a score by Tangerine Dream, and it absolutely fucks.
It's my favorite Tangerine Dream score, probably.
Really? This did have me thinking of another movie that also was kind of lost for a while and then reappraised by a similar audience, Sorcerer. It's also like trucks driving through the jungle set Tangerine Dream. A lot of mumble dialogue.
I'm often not a fan of Tangerine Dream, to be honest.
Really?
But I loved this one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Can't tell you why I like or don't like something sometimes, but Tangerine Dreams just does not hit it for me some of the time.
I love Tangerine Dream. Very frequently, there will be the best part of a bad movie from the 80s. Like, I fucking hate Risky Business, but like Guido the Killer Pimp, the like track by Tangerine Dream that's on there is fucking incredible.
I haven't seen Risky Business since I was a kid. That would be worth rewatching for me.
I mean, I feel like you might like it more than you liked Porky's on a rewatch.
Yeah, perhaps.
I didn't care for it, but I don't know.
Porky's I thought was actually kind of fascinating in how badly it's aged. I mean, talk about something that's aged like milk. And I'm usually a defender of like problematic things from the past in a way, but that I was like, I can't defend this. I truly can't. But it's fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
Just as a marker of how much things have changed since the early 80s. Well, let's play our favorite game, Have They Seen It? Where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. We totally forgot to play this last week. Just didn't do it. And,
it's because it was a new release. It was Nosferatu. It's out in theaters, so everyone's seeing it. And that's my explanation for why we didn't do the thing that we do every episode. It wasn't out of neglect or forgetting. It was intentional.
We just literally forgot.
Josh, it was fully intentional.
This is a person I've already mentioned. Do you think that Cassandra Peterson, aka Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, saw The Keep?
I'm sure she saw it in new release in '83 in theaters. Cassandra Peterson versus Elvira, the character, I feel like would have different responses to it. I feel like Cassandra Peterson would have watched it, seen it, enjoyed enough, but would have forgotten it as soon as it left her head and been like, yeah,
Mhm.
you know, it wasn't amazing. I feel like Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, would like go on a rant about how she fell asleep during the movie and like
I mean-
make snoring noises.
I would love to watch Elvira talk all the way through this movie. I would be very happy to do that. Do you think that Cassandra Peterson likes arty farty movies? Like, do you think that you could watch Cries and Whispers with her and she would
Oh,
be into it?
absolutely. Absolutely. I think she like famously adores art films as much as she adores trashy horror films. She was in Fellini's Satyricon.
Was she? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Her like she was obsessed with Elvis and when she was starting out and she wanted to be a Vegas showgirl. And after that she lived that life for a little while. She was like, I want to break into movies. I want to break into acting. She moved to Italy and got in a Fellini movie. She's fucking amazing. I love her so much.
Me too.
This movie is frequently, and Michael Mann in general is frequently compared to another great stylistic director from the 80s who then blew up and became a big cultural mainstay in the 90s. I was thinking about one of that director's horror movies during this and reading some essays included with the Vinegar Syndrome release. It's compared to a science fiction movie he made around the same time as this. Do you think that Tony Scott has seen The Keep? It compared. I was thinking about The Hunger a lot because that I think succeeds at the style that this is going for.
Yeah,
in a different way than this one does.
Totally. The Hunger, God, I love that movie so much.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It is like sort of similar in terms of tone and aesthetic in a weird way, although they have very different settings. I would bet he did because he's British and this is an American-British co-pro filmed in Wales. Michael Mann's not British, but I don't think that matters in the 80s. I would bet he did see it.
Yeah. I feel like he would have liked it too. I feel like
he would have stuck up for it.
I feel like Michael Mann would have gotten like a letter or a fax being like, nah, you were right. They butchered your movie. It's great. Like, yeah. I feel like he would have been a big supporter of it.
What do you think about a director who's like very, very different than Michael Mann? Do you think that Sean Baker has seen The Keep?
Oh, interesting. Sean Baker has a letterboxd. Hey.
Oh, he does?
Oh, bitch, you need to follow him on Letterboxd.
Oh my god.
And I also know from his Letterboxd and from his Instagram that he buys stuff from Vinegar Syndrome
right?
all the time. He does buy vintage posters all the time, but he also deeply collects boutique Blu-ray releases too. He like anything new from Severin or Vinegar Syndrome, he's buying. The weirder or trashier, the better. So I think he absolutely picked up this new restoration of The Keep. I don't think he's seen it until now, but I think it's currently in his watch pile, and I think he's gonna love it. I mean, he said on record that the movies that made him get into wanting to direct were like Die Hard and Rage of the Lost Ark. And that's what he wanted to make initially until he got to film school and then discovered like De Sica and Italian neorealism and Rossellini and stuff like that. And then was like, oh, no, I like this more.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to find if he saw it or not, but I'll do that on my own time.
I'm going to say he hasn't yet, but I will.
But he has
promise
the Blu-ray
you
in his hot little hand.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm almost certain he has the Vinegar Syndrome release in his hot little hands, and he will be watching it within the calendar year.
Also, a really cool poster for this movie.
The original poster? Oh, it's fucking gorgeous. I deeply, deeply, deeply love it. Also, the new artwork for the Vinegar Syndrome release by Edward Kinsella and our buddy Stake Mountain is beautiful.
I didn't realize that was Stake. Oh, wow.
He did the booklet art and design, and he also did the title design for the new release.
Oh, he's so talented.
He's
Love
so
him.
fucking talented. And Edward Kinsella, the illustrator who did all the artwork, also did the artwork for Criterion's releases of The Brood and Carnival of Souls.
Whoa, 2 bangers.
Yeah, he's also extremely talented, and I think his art for this movie recontextualizes it in a really beautiful way. So yeah, I think Sean Baker is going to see it soon and eventually. So this movie was made by Paramount in 1983, and it is on paper an adventure movie about Nazis hunting artifacts in the 40s that then lead to the Nazis exploding. Similar to another successful Paramount movie from a few years before, Raiders of the Lost Ark. You can kind of see why one was greenlit shortly after the other.
Yeah.
I'm certain Steven Spielberg saw this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But do you think Indiana Jones himself, Harrison Ford, has seen The Keep?
I don't think so. Gut says no.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it.
He was so insanely hot, Harrison Ford. It's crazy. Have you seen pictures of him in the 70s? I mean, yeah. But there's all these photos of him in like his cool little corduroy shorts, smoking a cigarette.
When he was just like a carpenter in the 70s, yeah.
He was Joan Didion's carpenter. Like, how much cooler can you get than that?
Yeah. I think like part of the reason he got the role in Apocalypse Now wasn't it that he was like repairing Coppola's hot tub or something like that?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it for a moment.
Yeah, like and I know that the cast of Star Wars was auditioned at the same time but in the same place as the cast of Carrie, and because De Palma and Lucas were buddies, and so they were both looking for like teenagers, and so they had the casting sessions at the exact same time. So there is footage of like Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford auditioning for Carrie. And like
for the William Catt role,
or I can see Harrison Ford in the John Travolta role or something like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That would be fucking awesome.
So
Nothing
good.
Against William Catt or John Travolta. They're incredible, and Carrie is a perfect movie. But like,
I also love how Harrison Ford has just aged into somebody who does not give a shit. Like every press thing, he seems so unhappy to be there and lets everyone know it. And I love that.
He's in a new fucking Marvel movie in which he's playing the president who turns into a Hulk.
Oh, God.
Which, Jesus Christ. But the movie is not even out yet, and people have asked him about it, and he was like, I needed the money. And you're like,
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Get yourself
good on you, Pops.
Yeah. Let's do a Renault on that house, Harrison Ford. You deserve it. Anyway, thank you for listening to this episode of Bloodhaus. You can follow us on Instagram. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. Drusilla, where can people find you?
You can find me and my posters and work over at sisterhidedesign.com. There's a lot of new stuff on there, and a lot more new stuff dropping super, super, super soon. 2025 is going to be a very prolific year, so keep an eye out for all of that nonsense. You can also follow me on Letterboxd. If you look for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde, you can follow me on there. And you can follow Sean Baker too, apparently. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Sister Hyde. What about you, Josh? If people remove the sigils, how can you be released to the world?
Please don't remove the sigils. They are not silver. But I am at Joshua Conkel on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Letterboxd.
Those are load-bearing sigils. Don't remove them.
We're watching a movie next week that is very old but new to both of us, I believe. We got it as a recommendation from my boyfriend, Robert Eggers. What is it?
We will be watching a proper British film. I think this will be one of the oldest British movies we've ever watched. From an undersung icon of British Gothic that has deeply influenced both filmmaking and the culture, but has never gotten the respect. We will not be watching that movie from him, but we will be watching a more horror-appropriate movie from him, cited as a massive influence on Nosferatu by Robert Eggers. We will be journeying and dealing up to the counter with Thurl Dickinson to watch Queen of Spades.
Can't wait. Bye, everyone. Thank you.